Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and today I have an album by a metal band that's known among fans of Christian metal, but probably not very known among the rest of the metal world. The name of the band is Detritus. So before I begin, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews and many other types of music related videos. So before I start, let's take a quick look at the band's history. Detritus is a metal band that formed in Bristol, England. Their style is a mixture of thrash, doom, and classic metal. The band is mostly known among fans of Christian metal. The band was first active from 1989 to 1993. Back then, they released two albums, Perpetual Defiance in 1990 and If But For One in 1993. So these albums are thrash masterpieces. So they recently reformed and released Myths in 2021. The band consists of Mark Broomhead on vocals and bass, Andy Neal on guitars, Andy Bright on drums, Paul Newton-Wise on guitars, and Michael Berznak on guitars. Christian metal and thrash metal fans may remember Mark Broomhead from the band Seventh Angel. That band also released a few thrash classics in the early 90s. Their style was more of a mixture of thrash and doom. They released The Torment in 1990 and then Lament for the Weary in 1992. They also reformed later and released Dust of Years in 2008. So these are all thrash classics, and I recommend them for anybody who loves thrash metal and Christian metal. So let me go through the album track by track. So the first track is Myth of Redemptive Violence. So this is a 1-minute instrumental. So you can hear a clean guitar and it creates an atmosphere for the next song. So the next song is Bright Black. So this is a heavy thrash metal song. The riffs are crushing. The band reminds me a little of early thrash bands like Testament. Very a full sound. The guitars have a very heavy crunch. There are a few melodic parts in the middle, and the solo is more on the melodic side, as opposed to a shredding solo. Next is Tale of Sadness. So this song starts out with a clean guitar intro. The vocals are very clear. The guitars create a melodic landscape. So this is a slower song, and it moves more into a doom metal territory. So I really like how the triple guitar threat creates a very a full sound. Track 4 is Call Me Human. So this song is very heavy, but it's also a little bit on the experimental side. There are heavy riffs, and they're played over these clean guitars. So the three guitars create a lot of texture and ambience. So the song is not very fast. It's more of a thrash doom track, I would say. I really like the interplay between the clean and distorted guitars in this track. Track 5 is Exoria. So this is the longest song on the album. It's nearly 9 minutes. Starts out with slow melodic guitars. You hear a fire crackling. It creates a nice atmosphere. The singing in the intro gives the song very an epic feel. Think of bands like Manowar or Dio. The piano creates a very nice mood to the song. This is a slow song. It builds up as it moves along. By the 6-minute mark, you hear some really crushing riffs. And then the next song is Bloodstained Glass. So this starts out with a male and female vocals singing an a cappella style. The song has very a fantasy-oriented epic feel. The bass kicks in and it has this funky bass riff. I thought it was really cool. The song has heavy vocals and guitars, almost an industrial music feel. The song is also very doomy and heavy, but picks up in the end. Next is Pharisee. I really like the opening riff on this song. The song has a lot of heavy guitars. It's a little more minimalistic, but there's a lot of melody in the song. I like the melodic solo, and I hear a lot of influences from classic metal bands like Judas Priest or Iron Maiden. Next is The Game. The song starts out with a slow and heavy riff. It's a really cool mid-paced thrasher. The song is packed with heavy riffs, and it's an awesome song. There's some very cool backing vocals, and you hear them like more towards the end of the song. The last track is called Forever Soldier. Now the song starts out with many like war-related sound effects. You hear like shooting and helicopter, and that really like sets the stage for the song. Some pretty cool like tremolo picking in the intro. This is probably like the thrashiest song. The backing vocals create a nice, cool atmosphere. This is probably my favorite song from the album. There's also a triple guitar attack with a lot of melody, like near the 5 minute mark. The clean guitars and the female vocals at the end, really like bring this album to a really nice close. So in conclusion, so this is an album. It brings back that like 90s metal. There may not be like a lot of like guitar virtuosity, in terms of like shredding solos. Some people might see this as a negative, but for me, I really like how they focus on creating a very like a big, like a thick sound. I would say the style is more of a mixture of thrash, doom, and classic metal. You hear influences from bands like Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, and Iron Maiden, and also some of the classic thrash bands like Testament and Metallica. And also hear some of like those like 90s like industrial bands coming out like Fear Factory or Machine Head. So we have a lot going on. It has that like 90s sound that favors these like tightly structured songs over the shredding. Fans of Christian metal or really any metal fan would enjoy it. It's a fun listen. I enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 just because I really enjoyed that like throwback like 90s sound. So let me know in the comments if you've heard the band or have heard any of their older material. And with that being said, I'll probably do a couple more new releases, like really, really, really close to 200 subs. So I'll do a shout out video once I hit that. And thanks for watching. Here are some other videos. Let me do this right. I always mess this up. There and there. Check them out, and I will see you in the next one.